Welcome again, everybody, to episode 2 of the Bonesaw Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Butera, just here to, have a good time. It's pretty chilly outside over here in New York. We've got negative degrees with the wind chill. It is icy, it's cold, it's windy. If you're on the East Coast, stay inside. Listen to the Bonecast with some hot chocolate, preferably marshmallows and whipped cream. Anyway, like usual, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I think WWE's been picking up really nicely with the whole Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan angle. It's whatever backlash was done from the Royal Rumble, it's undone. I'm pretty sure it was just really a crowd thing and a bunch of idiotic fans who just flipped out for no reason at all with the whole cancellation bit. The promotion thing was a real good idea for WWE to just get those fans back, which I'm sure, they did get a number of fans back, or they got a lot of new fans to make up for the ones that left. So, I thought that was a really smart move on their part. I did finish Tough Shit, Kevin Smith book. Really funny, great read. I will never fly Southwest Airlines because of this ridiculous incident that Kevin Smith got into in the mid-2000s. It was all over the news. They were basically... The guy was too heavy to fly according to Southwest Airlines rules, which were ridiculous and didn't make any sense. And Southwest has all these ridiculous restraints on banning people from flying, which, if you're a business, I don't understand why you would ever do that. But, okay, that's their procedure. Read Tough Shit. It's real funny. It's real great. And, if Kevin Smith can do it, you can too. Guy grew up in a middle-class family. Dad was a postman, didn't have a shot, made it in the film world. He's a god amongst, average Joes like us. I have moved on to other books, though. I'm reading A Confederacy of Dunces, which is one of the funniest books ever written. And this needs to be taught in college courses all over the world. It is so funny and such a great read. I'm also reading Chris Jericho's book, Best in the World at What I Have No Idea, and it's really great, just like all Chris's books. It reads like he's telling you his story, so it's a lot of fun. Anyway, my guest is Christopher Atomic Thrasher of Thrash Metal band Insinnerator from Dallas, Texas, baby. Home of the Stars, the Spurs. No, not the Spurs, the Mavericks. San Antonio's the Spurs. I am an idiot. He's gonna probably have at me on that one, so that should be fun when he gives me the backlash. Anyway, Chris is a great guy. We played a show together in the Meat Locker that I helped organize for their tour in 2011. They're a lot of fun, real nice guys. We also played with Terrorist from Texas at that point too, and Terrorist was great, a lot of fun, really, really, really old school death metal. I like them a lot, but Insinnerator is the cool kind of thrash metal stuff that everybody should be listening to. Pure thrash metal. Anyway, so I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to let this podcast roll. So you guys have fun, stay warm, and enjoy the show.
Bonesaw Podcast! Bonesaw Podcast! Bonesaw Podcast! Bonesaw!
So, tell me about thrash metal and how you got into all of that stuff.
I guess, when I was 14, I heard Testament the first time on, that VH1 Metal Mania stupid crap. And it was Practice What You Preach, and I saw Skolnick shredding, and I heard the energy and intensity, and it was that is what I want to do. And then I got a guitar, a year later, and fast forward, what is it, 7 years later, and here we are.
What was the first song you learned?
Oh, God. Something Metallica would have to be. Probably Seek and Destroy or something I would not play now at 24 years old.
Yeah, I feel like it's that for everybody who starts playing guitar. I mean, I think the first song that I taught myself how to play was Angel of Death.
That's a good one. Did you get the middle section?
Yeah, I was like 3 months into playing, and I just wanted to play really fast, and my guitar teacher was a guy named Stan Pillis, who was in the original Carnivore lineup, so, like, when we got to talking, I was like, I want to learn how to play fast stuff, and he's like, oh yeah? And and he starts playing Carnivore. I didn't know what it was, because I'm like 12, 13 years old, but he starts playing, and I'm like, Stan, teach me this.
Yeah. I mean, when you hear thrash for the first time, man, like, there's just something about the energy and the atmosphere of that music that, like, it just clicks on like that. And, man, like, you just don't look back from it, man. Because, yeah, like, I just, when I heard that Testament song, it was like, I want to play fast, I want to play intense, I want to play energetic. And for whatever reason, I learned probably like Seek and Destroy, or I don't know, the Four Horsemen or something.
Yeah. Did you ever used to make your own medleys?
It's just like, man.
You ever used to make your own Metallica medleys because they did it?
Like on guitar?
Yeah.
No, I don't think I do that, but I used, before I knew how to burn a CD, because, God, I'm so behind on computers, I would take my favorite Metallica songs and put them on cassette on my brother's radio, and try to play along through all of those songs. Like, I would put probably Seek and Destroy and Fight Fire with Fire, but I wasn't creative enough at that time to put a medley together, like, just on my own. Now I should try that.
You learned how to do cassette transfers?
Oh, all I had to do was put a blank cassette in his stereo, hit play on the CD, and then hit record on the cassette, and I guess his stereo was high-tech, because it would just record onto the cassette from the CD. So, I didn't have to hear, like, it's a Metallica song I don't like. I don't know, any ballad, because, fuck ballads.
Yeah. I always kind of lean more towards the crossover stuff for thrash metal. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because there were less solos to play, or if no, I'm pretty terrible at playing lead guitar. Like, that's probably why I became a bass player. I really I can't really do solos to save my life. Sweeping, I could barely do a 3-string sweep. I just can't do it. But I don't know. I don't know if it's the speed or if it's the lack of technicality. But I always went more towards the crossover kind of stuff. What about you?
I guess I'm more into like the kind of Bay Area sound, but I also like that kind of darker stuff, like Protector and Invocator, and kind of that kind of like late '80s, early '90s when they really kicked up the speed notch a little bit. I really like that. But yeah, I like the stuff with a lot of solos and craziness. But you've heard my solos; they freaking suck. And I'm trying. Dude, God help me, I write every note of those solos, and when I write them, I'm like, oh, sweet. And then I hear them, and it's like, God damn it. And that's why we have Robert in the band now. But you know what band I've been listening to a lot lately? MOD.
Yeah,
and, like,
pretty cool.
USA for MOD drives me nuts. That album is awesome.
Yeah, MOD is pretty good. I was never like super huge on them. But I did like them. I think that they're really cool. I like Sacred Reich a lot more though.
Oh, dude, Sacred Reich is awesome, man. The American Way and Ignorance and all that, dude. Yeah. I didn't get too much into like Independence, but
yeah, I have Surf Nicaragua. I have like the 25th anniversary release that has the Rest in Peace demos.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's like really cool. Like that's probably some of my favorite things about re-releases is that they just have all the demos on there and all this extra shit that you probably wouldn't have got.
Me too. I remember Heathen, before they did the Evolution of Chaos, they had one, like, a few years beforehand that had a lot of covers on it, but then it had a demo at the end of all the, what was their second one? Victims of Deception album demos, and I kind of like those demos more than what ended up on the album.
Didn't they have a Queen cover on that?
What's that?
Didn't they do a Queen cover on that compilation?
I know they did Thin Lizzy and who does Kill the King?
I don't know.
Is it Rainbow or something? I don't listen to rock.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know if they did. Man, I can't tell you because I would just skip to that freaking demo section because it was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. I think they did Death on Two Legs.
Did they?
I think so. They either did that or
That sounds like something Heathen would do.
No, never mind. I was thinking either that or Sheer Heart Attack, but Hallows Eve did Sheer Heart Attack.
I like Hallows Eve. I like that song Rock Gut.
Yeah. I got Monument on I have Monument on vinyl actually. I found it at Generation for like $7 or something like that a couple of years ago.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That song Rock Gut, man. God, that freaking it's those simple riffs that just put you over the edge, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that could be also why I like the crossover stuff. Or it could be the whole New York thing, and there's just so much hardcore roots in here. Maybe that does.
Yeah, dude, but
I don't know.
But, I mean, fuck Anthrax, but you know, SOD rules. Fucking hate Anthrax.
Why?
Worship music. That ruined everything. That ruined my perception of that band. I mean, I can still listen to Spreading the Disease and what was the one after that? Among the Living and State of Euphoria.
Worship music I didn't think it was that bad. I thought that it was like a heavy rock album. I don't think that it should be considered a thrash album or maybe a metal album, but not really a thrash metal or speed metal record like Anthrax is known. I mean, bands change over time. They get less heavy and then they get heavy again and then they don't get heavy. I don't know.
But don't suck. I mean, if you're not going to be heavy, at least don't suck.
I didn't think
Jesus
it totally
Christ,
sucked.
That thing gave me an ulcer. I hate that album, man. God damn. I freaking hate Scott Ian and Charlie anyway. Like, Charlie beats his wife, and then his wife kicks his ass or something. Scott Ian just wants to be Dimebag without the lead, and who would want to be Dimebag anyway, but God, I hate those guys. God damn it.
Why? Is it like just like their personalities or that rub off, or
yeah,
just in
like,
general?
Because Charlie punches his wife, and then, you know, she rightfully kicks his ass. Good for her. And then you have Scott Ian on, like, every freaking VH1 show. And what was that stupid thing he did with Sebastian Bach and Ted Nugent?
Oh, like, yeah, I forgot I forgot about that show.
Exactly. Like, we all forgot about it, but he was on it.
I think the whole point of the show
God
is that...
damn it, I hate that guy.
I think the whole point of the show was, like, to get them to do an album or something, and we never actually saw the album at all. I don't think we ever got anything released out of that. So I think it just turned out to be just a show that no one cared about.
God, thank God, dude. Ted Nugent and Scott Ian as a guitar team. Who saw that going over great?
I don't even...
Who was the bassist? Evan Seinfeld. Oh, great. And Sebastian fucking Bach as your vocalist.
Yeah, Jim Cornette couldn't get that team over.
Oh, no way, dude.
Good God.
Well, sorry for my little rant about Scott Ian, but, you know.
No, that's
God,
fun.
just thinking about his face and putting it next to worship music just rubs me the wrong way.
So who do you actually like from like the new era? Like who are some of your favorite bands?
From the new wave of thrash?
Yeah, and what do you like? Really, where do you think it started? Because I think a lot of people have like a misconception of where the new wave of thrash happened and how it happened or why it happened. I mean, what's your take on that?
It's a really good question, man. Because I mean, there were always those small releases throughout the 90s, but where does the old wave end and the new begin? It's hard to find, because, like, Toxic Holocaust has been around forever, man. Like, Evil Never Dies was early 2000s. Guillotine, that Swedish band, had one in, like, 97. But again, where's that fine line between old and new? And then, of course, Municipal Waste.
Yeah. A lot of people think that they kind of started it because, I think that they were really just the first one that really kind of got noticed out there.
I think so too. And I mean, they definitely came before the influx of LA bands, which those LA bands like Merciless Death and Fueled by Fire and Execution, Sacrificer, Dismantle, those were the bands that got me into the new wave.
Yeah.
Those were that was my first experience when I finally found like-minded musicians and fans of thrash to get to know and do everything. But then the East Coast really took off with Lich King and now Condition Critical and.
Well, I think the East Coast pretty much. The way that I remember it was like 2007. I heard the Warbringer demo. I heard One by One the Wicked Fall, and I liked that a lot. And I think that was my first real thing. Either that or, yeah, I think it was that. And then, what the fuck is that? Then I saw Mantic Ritual with Destruction, and.
Oh yeah, I remember that tour.
I think Warbringer played that show too, actually. But I mean, I remember Manic Ritual, like they had this thing about them, and that was like, wow, this is the East Coast side. But they used to be West Coast, but they're really East Coast guys anyway. And they had this they had like, I guess the way that I could describe them was the closest that you could get to seeing seeing early Metallica now.
Yeah.
Like, with that whole original lineup. That's what I could get
Wetmore. Dude, and when Dan Wetmore was the front guy, man, he just brought this certain energy to Mantic Ritual, or Meltdown at the time.
Yeah, he had this great don't give a shit, like, charisma about him, and the whole band kind of just went with it, and I don't know, they just had this presence. Like, when they wanted to turn it on, they wanted to turn it on. And it was that show. Like, I remember I think they played like a 7-song set. And about 3 songs into it, they really weren't really into it. I mean, I didn't see anything special there. It was like, alright, it's just another band that's opening up. Because they really weren't really that into it. Because they were tired and it was the last day of the tour and whatever. And then they decided to play Black Metal by Venom. And out of nowhere, here comes this fucking fireball of energy from everybody. And I'm watching them like, wow, I don't know what the fuck I just saw, but this is 1,000 times better, and I don't know what happened. It's almost like they knew when lightning was going to hit, and they just always had the bottle out. And they were like, well, I guess it's going to happen now. And then they just put out the bottle and they call it lightning. I really don't know. But they were really fucking good.
Yeah, man, they were awesome, and they reformed, what was it, for Thrasher 6, not this past May, but the May before, 2013.
I don't think they did it this past May.
Was it this past May? No, it wasn't last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think last year was the last one, for now. Or the year before that, I don't even know.
I remember I was watching it on my phone, because that was a great idea to stream it, because I don't have money to go out there whenever I want. But they had the magic there, and it was cool to see Carlos Cruz on drums too.
Always good to see Carlos.
But man, they just seemed so tired. Even after having that long break, it was sad, man. It's sad to see bands like that with so much energy and potential. Especially, we're all working so hard to keep the new wave of thrash going, and I guess whoever's here to stay is here to stay now. But it just Mantic Ritual and Merciless Death Death, Fuel by Fire, and all those guys. Yeah, they're the guys that I looked up to as a fellow musician in the contemporary scene. It just stinks to see those guys so tired. And life just being life, you know, bills and such picking up.
I really liked I liked where they were going when they had the new singer though. I think his name was either Dave or also Dan. I think it was Dave. But I actually opened for them with with an old band of mine. I think in like 2009. Opened for them, Rattlehead and Hexen, and that fucking Hexen was awesome.
God, Hexen, man, those guys were incredible.
They were my favorite. They were my favorite of the new thrash bands.
It stinks that they're being in nothingness album. I don't know if Old School Metal Records released that one or they did themselves.
I think,
but it was kind of
Pulverized released it for them. Yeah, they released it through Pulverized Records.
Pulverized, okay. That was just such like if you stumbled upon it, you were lucky.
Yeah,
because
it
there
wasn't
was like
very familiar.
No one telling you that album came out.
Yeah, Pulverized is weird. I never know that they're getting anything until I get a promo, and in that case, I've got the promo, so I don't have to. Now I don't have to purchase it because you just gave me a free copy. If I like it, I tend to buy it anyway, but like it's just kind of a shame that it wasn't promoted the way that it should have been.
Yeah, because that album had the Hexen creativity and Rodney and Top, man, those guys can play guitar and Carlos on drums. That was a really good lineup. And then I think when Carlos did Warbringer, they got Gio from Dismantle and Merciless Death, but that lineup just kind of dissipated.
Yeah,
That's another sad thing of either life taking over or, a burnout of a band that you look up to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything against Gio, but I mean, I don't think that he could have. I don't think that really many drummers could fill Carlos's shoes anyway. I mean, that guy is so talented.
That guy is awesome, man. But I think Gio, I think was the right guy to get for the job because Gio does have technical chops. He got I remember on the first Dismantle album, and I bet it wasn't really them. I don't know what their time schedule was, but there were things like with double bass here and there where it would kind of be a little choppy. But their second album, Dismantle's second album, they really cleaned it up, and Gio was on point. Every time I've seen him with Merciless Death, not only is he a great guy, but he's just live. He really adds that energy, and I think that would have been good for Hexen going forward, is to have something at times a little more straightforward, because, I think Rodney and Talk would focus kind of on, how can we make this more technical, when then you have a drummer being the backbone, adding that energy of just straightforwardness. I think that would have really helped them, and I wish that lineup would have done something a little more.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Hexen come through for another tour.
Me too, man. They were a great live show. I remember that tour with Rattlehead. I only got to see Hexen and Rattlehead. I didn't see Magic Ritual. Was that like a local thing?
Manic Ritual only played like 5 shows. And they were all East Coast dates. I mean, we played with them at the Meat Locker, and that was like probably the last time anybody really, really heard from them.
Yeah, I would say that's around the time period that I kind of fell out with them too.
Oh,
they just,
I think it was actually 20.
And then I remember Ben and Jeff, they did Lich King. They helped Lich King tour.
Yeah, and then they joined Warbringer, and then they
did Warbringer, yeah.
And then they released probably the best Warbringer album ever, because it was like an all-star lineup.
Is it the new one, 4?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, I haven't heard it, man.
It's really good. Just the rhythm section alone is just so good. Like, it's Carlos, Ben, and fucking Jeff. Like, you
and then you have John Locks on lead guitar and Keeble on vocals.
Yeah, it's
that
almost
is a pretty
like
stacked lineup when you really put it on paper.
Yeah, it's almost like a super group. The album, it's hard to really beat it just because the rhythm section is so tight.
Yeah, man. I mean, I see why Lich King, got those guys to.
Yeah. Well, also they were living in Pittsburgh again at the time, so it's not too far from Massachusetts. So they were like easy practices, and they also had the star power. So that's probably why. Like, it was just a smart decision too, because they already had that star power, so it was gonna get more asses in the seat. So I think that even like I'm sure that they didn't. I'm sure that this wasn't done from like a marketing standpoint, but that's a good fucking way to market your tour.
Yeah. But you know what, dude? The lineup that Lich King has now, I don't think there's. I mean, I put their lineup of Tom, Brian, Joe, Nick, and Rob up against anyone of the old and new wave.
Yeah.
Like, those guys have a chemistry that is just incredible, man. Like, on and off stage, those guys have a chemistry that just works, man. You can tell they're always having a good time with each other.
Sometimes that's all you need. I mean, look at Venom. The first lineup of Venom on the first 4 albums, Mantis, Abaddon, and Kronos. Those 3, not really the most talented musicians ever, but there was such a fucking chemistry that they had that made those albums great.
Dude, Venom sucks, dude.
What? You don't like Venom?
Hell no, dude.
You don't like the first 3 albums?
No, I don't like rock and roll, man. I like metal.
Ah. You really
I
don't
like rock and roll.
You didn't like black metal or Welcome to Hell or fucking what the fuck was the name of the third one?
Yeah, it's so good and memorable that you remember the name of it. They suck.
That was like the point, though. They weren't really that good, but there was just
then
something
why
about
are we praising them like they're metal gods, dude? They suck.
Because the albums were great because they were bad. It was like it's like watching a really shitty movie. It's like watching The Room, where there's no reason for you to be watching it. You know that it's not that great, but you just enjoy it and you don't know why.
I wouldn't enjoy it, man. Just like I don't enjoy Venom albums. Venom sucks. I mean, they have that one album called Temple of Ice, and I gave it a shot, and I think like 30 seconds in, it was like, you know what? I could be listening to anything else right now and be a lot happier.
I've never listened to anything past the 4th album.
Yeah, Venom's so great. I only listened to their first 4 albums out of like 8 or whatever. Who cares, man? They suck. You know who else sucks? Let's see. Who else sucks? One that just, man, I don't, you know who I don't really like that everyone seems to get into?
Who?
Merciful Fate.
No?
Don't give a shit. And it's not to say those guys are bad players at all. Those guys are good players. I just, man, when it comes to metal, I want it fast, I want it mean, I want it aggressive, and I don't get that from either King Diamond or Merciful Fate.
So you're just like a strictly thrash metal guy for the most part?
Pretty much, dude.
Yeah.
I can do some old school death metal. I can do like Satan, that new wave of British heavy metal band. I can do those guys. I can do some power metal. But yeah, man, I'm pretty much thrash through and through.
Can't really do doom?
Oh god, no, dude. Metal's supposed to be fast. Get that slow shit out of here. Get it out of here. Candlemass, Epicus Doomicus Metalus. So you read that title and you know you're in for something just so boring. I'm a terrible human. No, like Candlemass is like if I had to listen to all the Doom bands, they're the one that I could probably tolerate the most. And that Epicus Doomicus, I can't even say it without laughing. Epicus Doomicus Metalus album isn't. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever heard. It's better than Venom.
What did I find recently? Somebody gave me a bootleg CD of the death demos, number 4, 5, and 6, when they were I think they were called Infernal Death at the time.
Dude, how many demos did Death have before they released Scream Bloody Gore?
I think that they had 6 or they had 8. They had a lot. They released a lot of shit before their first album, kind of like Witch Haven. Witch Haven had like 5 demos and like 3
Dude, but
splits.
that Black Thrash Assault demo was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember that one specifically out of all theirs. Man, I love that one.
Did you hear the new Rigor Mortis?
I haven't. Ben showed me one part of it, though, that was a sick mid-tempo riff, a great mosh riff, but that's the only thing I heard of it. My favorite Rigor Mortis is the Freaks EP, actually. I don't really like the self-titled.
Really?
One thing that just kills it for me is they didn't pan the guitars. It's just like one guitar on both speakers, and that just, I don't know, man, that just kind of drives me nuts. I don't know why. I mean, that's just a little Christopher Atomic Thrasher being a nitpicky little crybaby. But also, Bruce's vocals are just kind of slow. Whereas...
You ever hear the demo?
The one before the self-titled?
Yeah, because his vocals are really slow on that. I mean, it's
Dear God!
It's kind of cool to hear, but at the same time, you're like, wow, this would have turned out so much differently.
I think Violence kind of had the same thing with the Eternal Nightmare demos. Like,
yeah, Violence was a lot slower. So were the Exodus demos.
Whoa!
So were the Exodus demos. I remember. I have this Netherland bootleg vinyl called Strike of the Beast, where it has the Kirk Hammett demo. It has the Turk Street demos when they were like mid-recording Bonded, and then it's got some interview on some Staten Island radio station, which is kind of like them just like goofing off and the other guy looking like an idiot, which is kind of funny.
So speaking of Staten Island, how much do you know about Staten Island?
It's got a college campus and a mall.
It's got a college campus. How important is Angelina from Jersey Shore to Staten Island?
She's from Staten Island?
Oh, well, I tried.
I don't know, dude. I don't watch any fucking reality TV. I fucking hate it, man.
I mean, Jersey Shore was awesome for the first 4 seasons.
Oh.
5 and 6 were terrible.
No, it was
That's the only one I could do.
No, that was all bad, man.
No way, dude. That was a good show.
No, dude. You didn't live through it. You lived in fucking Texas. You have no idea, man. This was for me and other people living in New York, we were all just kind of like, none of us understood why the shit that we've been seeing every day for our entire lives was suddenly a big deal.
Mike of Condition Critical would always call Tony, him and Tony, like he'd always act like they're from the boardwalk. And it's just like, you guys are so ridiculous, man. Like, stop it.
What was that tour like?
Oh man, the one with Condition Critical, man.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we got to do it, man. They're our brothers, so it was so fun, man. They're more into hijinks than the 3 of us at the time were. Now that we have Robert, the 4 of us. Yeah, they're more into hijinks and drawing on each other and punching each other when they sleep or something. That was mainly Alonzo and Dimitri, not so much Mike and Tony. But yeah, them in Killing Session would jump on each other's nuts or something while they sleep, and Juan and I would just stare at each other judgingly and be like, where did we go wrong in our lives? No, in all seriousness. It was fun. It was just being in that freaking bus, man, all day with everyone was just like, goddamn, get me out of here, dude. I like vans so much better.
How big was the bus?
Oh man, they had like, what was it, 6 or 7 bunks in there, 2 long couches, and then little kitchen area, and the bathroom area. So that thing was big, and I think, yeah, there was also a trailer on it, and man, Sean, Condition Critical, as manager, that dude is amazing, because he drove that thing through the packed streets of LA, taking turns, and just, dear fucking God, I could just, he would go through like a pack of cigarettes on one street, man, but what a champ. And same with Tony and Mike for helping guide that thing through all the crap. That was so ridiculous, man. But anyway, that tour, watching a band like Condition Critical perform every night is a real treat, man, because they're not only great people, but they really are great musicians and songwriters for what we do.
Yeah, I can never get over how they can get that wrecked and still sound perfect with each other.
Oh my God, I think we were in LA where no one except Tanner from Madras showed up, and Mike literally was just so bummed he fell over on stage and just kept playing, and it was just like, this is awesome, man, because even when he did that, yeah, he didn't miss a note, they didn't miss a beat, they kept going, man, like pros. Those guys are incredible. Condition Critical, man, they've luckily done some great things for themselves, like going to Europe and doing. We couldn't do that second U.S. tour with them just because our schedules didn't line up, which stunk. Because I wanted.
Oh, that didn't happen.
What's that?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that didn't happen.
Yeah, we were talking to them. They were, and our work schedules in Insinnerator just didn't really give us the opportunity to tour with them when they came back from Russia in Europe with Game Over and the Ultraviolence. But hopefully this next year, that we can get something going. I mean, I hope with like Warhead or even Lich King if they have some availability. I would love to go back out on the road, and especially with Condition Critical, man, because I love those guys. They really do. Them and Lich King, they're my best friends.
Yeah, I would like to see Warhead go on tour with you guys, because I mean, I think that'd be really cool. You should bring them East Coast too. I would
love to. I love Warhead, man. Those guys too, dude. I know they got Dane just left.
Oh, really?
The drummer.
I didn't know that.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I didn't know that Dane left.
Yeah, I think he just he could tell you better than I could. Yeah. I think a lot of things happened in his personal life that he just had to get a step away from everything. Yeah. And sadly, Warhead was one of those things. But I think he left on amicable terms. So if their new drummer say he can't do anything, hopefully Dane will be able to step back in. Because that's another band of just 4 guys: Cody, Dane, Nolan, and Sam, that just had an awesome chemistry.
Yeah, Sam's a monstrous bass player.
Dude, he is, man. He's got like the coolest haircut in the world.
He looks like a little David Ellefson. I told him that when I saw I saw them in April. They played at Gussie's in Queens, which is pretty cool. I mean, I think I'd like to do one of the Zamboni release shows if we ever get this goddamn album out. I'd like to have it there. I want to do 2. Like, I want to do one there, and I want to do another one, obviously, at the Meat Locker, because that's everybody's birthplace. From that.
Oh, yeah, man. The Meat Locker's awesome.
Dude, that first show, that show with you guys and Terrorist, and Midian's come back, and I was talking to Sam Agnew about this on another podcast a couple weeks ago, and like that was so many people's first shows. It was
wasn't that Condition Critical's first one?
It was their first show. It was Bomb Scare's first show. It was our first show. I don't know. Was it your first? Was it you and Terrorist's first show in the on the East Coast? Like your first tour?
We had been heading east for a while, but that was our first tour, our first full length tour.
Yeah, and then it was Midian's first and last comeback show because they got into like some internal shit afterwards, and then they broke up again. And
Shocking.
yeah, it was a really cool thing. I remember the bomb scare guys were fucking shaking the pipes on the ceiling, and they were like kicking each other and shit. And we were like, I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea. I really hope the fucking place doesn't get broken.
Yeah, dude.
I really don't want to get fined.
Any moment.
Yeah, like I really. There was one time where I really thought that like everything was just gonna go. There were just so many people just crashing into walls and shit, just breaking shit, running into things. There used to be a broken grand piano in one of the rooms. I don't know how it got there or why it got there, but it used to just be a completely fucking broken grand piano with graffiti all over it. It looked like it was like 100 years old. And I don't know when they gutted it, but I know that it's just not there anymore.
That's awesome, dude. That is awesome. That was a really special show. I'm glad we got to share yours and the Bomb Scare guys. I love them, and Condition Critical, obviously, and Midian, and of course Terrorist.
Yeah.
I'm glad we all got to share that experience together, man, because that was a really fun show, and it was fun watching you guys and everything, man. I'll never forget. I think your drummer got there like late or something.
Yeah, Nathan.
That first off was just too funny. But I'll never forget. I think you guys were supposed to do a Tankard cover.
Yeah, we fucked it up really badly, and nobody knew we were doing the cover.
You were on stage and you were like, "Come on, everyone, you all know this one," and it was nothing but feedback.
Yeah.
I was like, "This is awesome, dude," because I had no idea what you guys were doing until you started singing. It was like, "Oh, it's Tankard."
No, I remember the next day when we were walking to go get pizza, and I think Void from Terrace goes up to me and he's like, "Hey man, you guys did a really good job." That you were like, I was like, "No, dude, we fucked everything up." He's like, "I thought you were doing that on purpose." I'm like, "No, man, we got none of our songs right."
Man.
I'm like, "We got nothing right. We didn't do anything right. We practiced this and we were good in practice." And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were trying to be bad."
Oh man, that's too funny. No, man, let me tell you, dude, that you guys were very entertaining. I knew. Did you guys already have the ZEP out by then? The one with like the Bill Cosby song.
Yeah, we had Mother of the Resistance out at that point.
That was it, Mother of the Resistance.
Yeah, that year we did. That year we released the demo, and then we did the EP. I remember. This was stupid. When we did the demo, we like pressed it ourselves. We made I don't know. We probably made like 10 copies of it or something like that. We pressed the papers on there. We bought all the jewel cases and everything. We even went to the point where we got the paper to just put it on the CDs, and we bought like the disc cover program and everything. We were like super excited, and we copywrote everything, and and I was interning at Earache Records at the time, so I gave them the demo thinking that it was good, like an idiot. Not to get, I wasn't trying to get signed or anything, because after interning there, I realized that getting signed to any label is not really a good idea if you ever want to have fun in the music business. So I gave them the demo, and then I went home and I listened to it and I said, "Oh my god, what the fuck have I done?"
Did it have the Bill Cosby version?
No, this was like the very first thing that we ever did. We were thinking we were thinking of re-releasing it and like just going over the vocals with like black metal vocals so that people would say that it's good. And that just about does it for part 1 of our podcast. It gets a little long. We had a really long conversation, Chris and I. I hope that you enjoyed what you heard today. Stay tuned in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to put part 2 on there. Have some more Insinnerator for you. We're going to talk about Legend of Zelda. We're going to talk about, more thrash metal, music industry today, DIY, and all that kind of cool stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself, and I hope you had a lot of fun and a great time. And I hope you're all warm and happy and stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to leave you with, all this knowledge of power and fun and jokes and whatever, with some Insinnerator for you. This was requested by Chris. This is off of Insinnerator's last EP from, I believe, 2013. It is called Hypothermia. The artwork was done by Tom Martin of Lich King, just like Stalagmite of Ice, their first album. But anyway, this is from Hypothermia by Insinnerator. You can check them out on Facebook and all that other band lore logic stuff. This is called Elemental Ice Dragon. I hope you guys enjoy the show. See you in a couple weeks. Also, my advice to you, know what you're worth. If you know what you're worth, you're untouchable. Enjoy. This is Elemental Ice Dragon from Insinnerator.